All right, so here we are for another online video, joined with a special guest, Lindsay. Tell the people who you are and where they can find you.
My name's Lindsay Washburn. You can find me on my YouTube channel where I talk about my extensive VHS collection and good movies and bad movies and movies that are so bad they're good.
Speaking of movies, I
Yeah.
won't say they're so bad they're good. I'll say they're just good. This goddamn banger. 1996's The Phantom.
He became the Phantom.
I'm sure you both have seen this before.
I hadn't.
My God!
I know!
I think I did, yeah.
Billy Zane, Treat Williams.
I
What
know.
more could you ask for?
Well, that's the thing.
Christy
It's
Swanson?
like, I think this one, I knew of it when it came out, but I never saw it. And I think The Shadow came out around the same time with Alec
Yes.
Baldwin and Penelope Ann Miller.
The Shadow knows.
But I mean, this was 2 years before Blade came out.
Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?
So I mean, superhero movies really weren't a thing at all when
No.
this movie came out. Except for Batman, Tim Burton's
well,
Batman.
Batman's been around for quite some time.
What are you? I'm Batman.
Yes, but no, I had not seen it. I didn't know who was in it, so every time someone popped up, I was like, Treat Williams.
It's you again. What?
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, Shang Tsung,
That's
Oh yeah.
Longshanks from Braveheart. What?
Trouble with Scotland is that it's full of Scots.
that's what I was gonna call Shang Tsung as well. I was like, I saw Shang Tsung. I was like, what?
Yes.
He's gonna take your soul.
Your soul is mine.
Yeah.
No, the cast on this is amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
The fact that this did not spawn a like Star Warsian franchise really makes me mad. This did not do very well.
I
This is
think
the
it was
time
the
period I
purple
love.
suit. I think people just couldn't get past the purple suit.
Stay away from bad guys. No caliber.
No caliber.
Are you on Team
I-
Turkey or whatever, where you want a red suit?
I don't care. I didn't
What?
care what his suit looked like.
The Phantom
Daredevil
is a
discourse
comic
all
book
over again?
character, and he's very popular. I think it was Turkey. He's the Crimson Mask or something along those lines. Regardless, this is the 1930s. This is exactly what I think all superheroes should be. This is a
yeah.
time period where if you're a dude and you know a little bit of hand-to-hand, you can be a superhero.
Yes.
You can just
You
be
become
gone.
bulletproof.
There's no way of finding you. This is perfect. And Billy Zane had everything.
I have. This might. There's never a good time to deliver this kind of news, but I think this is a bad movie. I didn't like it. I know I didn't want to do this. I know you love and possibly are in love with Billy Zane. Stefan, I'm not talking to but like I went in like, hey, it's been 20 years. It's probably fine. I know I like vaguely remember not being into it, but there was a million movies, whatever. And I watched it. I like three things, and I think it didn't make money because it was bad. So that makes total
What
sense to
a
me.
Bitch. There are definitely problems, and we will go into those in the spoiler section. But this movie is amazing. Lindsay, please tell me you're on my side.
I didn't love it. Wasn't like blown away by it, but it's fun if you buy into the universe that this is the 30s and it's a little cheesy and a little slightly campy. You know, it's got the banter back and forth and stuff like that, but it really captures that style that the comics were originally written in.
Exactly. It's made like a tiny serial thing. It's convenient.
Yeah,
it's
I'm not
quippy, it's
like
fun.
I don't really like Indiana Jones. So I think
Really?
if you like Indiana, well, I like Temple
He
of
roots
Doom,
for
which
the
everybody
Nazis,
hates.
this son of a
Yeah.
bitch.
I was waiting for
No.
Nazis to show up in this. I
were
was
Had
like,
so
there been a
close.
sequel, I think you would have seen Nazis.
We had
Yes.
pirates. We didn't have Nazis.
No.
Oh no. No,
But
but,
I
like,
mean,
yeah,
yeah.
I like Temple of Doom. I like weird stuff. I like, interesting is the word that I usually use, but I like far outlandish robots, magic, dragons, superheroes that have powers, kind of, really, or something. This is like my least favorite time period, where it's like, it's like steam engines and shit, and I'm like, wow, that's the most boring time. But again, this is like a taste thing. I will explain why it is bad later, but this is why I didn't like it or whatever. So those
Yeah.
are like
Alright,
two.
so we know Lee
things.
has bad taste.
I
We'll
did
go
get
over
a-
to spoilers.
Yeah, you do get a lot of Indiana Jones vibe because it's that serial.
Yeah, they're all going off that same thing.
Yeah.
Flash Gordon.
The director directed a bunch of Indiana Jones stuff. I didn't know that until I checked later. He did Crocodile Dundee 2 and a bunch
Oh
of
my
Indiana
gosh.
Jones things and stuff.
Would you mind getting a move on? I'm on my lunch break.
And the writer, has a writing credit on Last Crusade.
There you
literally.
go. There you
So-
go.
It's just
And-
Indiana Jones,
and
starring
I
George Clooney's Batman. So
Yeah.
like, if that sounds awesome, fucking watch this movie.
I also got a lot of Rocketeer vibes from this
Yes,
movie.
which
Yeah,
is another one of my favorites.
Yes,
it's
Rocketeer's
Joe
great.
Dante. He brings that to the table.
And
Definitely,
he's
definitely watch the
executive
Rocketeer
producer on
instead.
this.
Yes,
I would say that. I
much
would
better
say
film.
that.
No, they're equal. All right, we're gonna go over to spoilers, kids. We know y'all love this. Follow us over there, and we'll see you in a sec.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
I have my VHS clamshell of The Phantom, and it's got the holographic
Oh yes,
cover.
I
How do
have that one.
How do you have
I
that?
have
We've
the
never seen
regular
it.
sleeve.
What's
I've
going
got
on?
the poster.
I was gonna watch it eventually, but this gave me an excuse. Oh, you have toys.
Of course, he loves his toys. Where does he get all these toys?
All right, so here we are for the spoilers of The Phantom. I'm going to let Lindsay start because I like what she's saying more than I like what Lee's saying.
Yeah,
So I mean,
I'm not going to be that much of a hater. I understand the environment that I'm in. Lindsay, go ahead.
Hang on, I just unmuted you. What was that?
So you want like a synopsis type of thing, or
Whatever you like.
I loved the set pieces that they had because they obviously went to locations. It was interesting to see like a superhero in a purple suit in the jungle.
Yes, it's the opposite of that. Well, actually, it's kind of right on par with like the Captain America. Didn't know much about camouflage, but sure
Yeah.
loved purple.
She didn't know much about camouflage. Nope. But she sure did love the red, white, and blue.
Yes, yes. And just the lore of the ghost who walks, the villagers call him that.
Ghost who walks.
And he's more of a runner anyway. I don't know what the fuck.
He's more of a runner.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But he's like the 23rd Phantom because it's passed down father to son, father to son. It started that the original Phantom was murdered by a pirate, or his father was murdered
His
by
father,
a pirate. His
which
father
launched
was
him into the Phantom.
Yes.
The small boy watched helplessly as his father was killed by the pirate leader, the evil Cabai Sengh.
And then he jumps off the boat and
He washes up on Phantom Island.
On Phantom Island.
They're like, yay.
With the Phantom people, and they turn him into the Phantom.
The tribal shaman presented the boy with a ring of great significance.
And so it's just been passed down, and he's just like a guardian figure for stuff.
He eats those purple flowers and he becomes powerful. It's
And he's
Is,
got,
is that
Tales
not
all
so
the
a
time.
genius,
he's got two
fun thing?
pistols.
The idea that you believe this character to be like immortal, invulnerable, because he survives deaths by just being conveniently having a son the right age to take over the mantle.
Yeah, it's like a Zorro thing.
Yeah.
Zorro.
I want to picture like he's 12, he's like wearing the suit, like, fuck. My dad
It
was an
certainly,
idiot.
I'm sure, has happened in some weird ways because it's something where you can't control it. It's not like, oh,
Yeah.
you've been trained. It's not even like Billy Zane was training to be the Phantom. He's like, whoop, dad died. Gotta go back from college.
Yeah.
And,
He's
Like,
and
let
now
me,
he's the Phantom.
let me sell my biology textbook back first, and then I'll go to the back.
Nah, they're like super rich. He doesn't need to worry about that shit.
Nah.
Exactly.
But
he has ancient skull money.
He has animal friends, which I liked. He's got a horse. They don't really. They never say the name of the horse, but he has a wolf named Devil.
Goodbye, devil. Take it, carrier master.
The horse is named Wolf.
Oh, I do know. No,
and his dog is a wolf.
damn it! I knew the horse's name.
Yeah,
It's written on the toy.
Cicero.
Yes, Cicero.
I really like that intro. I thought it was super economical,
was
and that
good.
was going to
Yeah.
be my main selling point. Was like, fuck this shit. I'm sick of origin stories. I don't want to see Martha Wayne's pearls drop another time. Just be like,
We're
the
just
fucking.
in it.
It's literally like 90 seconds, and it's like, oh, my dad and the thing and the pirates. Boom, damn, I'm the Phantom now. Done. It's fucking awesome. But then that's not the Phantom. That's the Phantom's like fucking great something. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Still counts as an origin story, but like whatever. I like the the economy of it.
The way they do that opening voiceover was more like on last time on Phantom
Yeah.
kind of thing,
As
So
we all
it
know,
worked
Captain Midnight protects the city, and you're like, okay, great, fine, do it.
This
yeah.
would have made a great like hour-long adventure show, like
Yeah.
in the vein of like Hercules or Sheena.
Yeah, adventure is definitely.
could
I
have
don't know.
been?
I don't know if that's on IMDb, but like that is the genre. Is like adventure, right?
Well,
That's,
this
like, the
was a
perfect-
TV
yeah.
show, like a black and white TV show.
It's empty.
Wait a minute.
The mark of the Phantom.
One of my forefathers must have removed whatever treasure there was and left our seal as a receipt.
But why a receipt? The law permits those who find a treasure to keep it.
Yes, I know that.
But that wasn't nearly as good. There was a cartoon that took place in the future. There was like the group, like the what is it, like
Phantom
Protectors of Earth,
Phantom
or whatever it was
2049,
called.
whatever.
Yeah.
In this future world, in this dying city, with the fate of the Earth and all humanity in the balance, the Phantom is there.
Was it?
Yeah.
I was joking. Oh,
That is what it's called.
I could have gone 2177. I could have gone 2049. I could have gone 2200.
There was a
yeah.
reboot attempt movie for this, which I don't know if they were trying to make a like franchise out of, but it was like a 2-part thing. It was like a multi-DVD'd. It was like some guy being told like, "There's been a great lineage. You need to take over the mantle." Like, and he gets pulled into it like you're the last, surviving whatever. But that was not good.
Birth name is Kit Walker. You were born in Stadt, Switzerland, and named after your father, who was a very important man.
Not good.
Word, bitch. Phantom's like a motherfucker.
What's up now?
Yeah, because this thing just bombed. It
Yeah.
just bombed hard. I don't know what the budget was and how much it made, but it wasn't a lot.
Yeah, there was a trilogy planned,
Yeah.
and that quickly went to fucking hell. And I've
Tell your
never been
friend
sad.
Billy Zane to stop making movies.
Billy Zane was like super into this
Yeah.
too, so like he would have been down for like a
get
whole
that vibe.
franchise. It would have been great. Although Bruce Campbell was originally attached, like he was someone they wanted to do for this when Raimi was gonna direct.
Yeah.
Oh, that
That
this,
would've been
this alternate
something.
universe version of the movie. I love how anytime Bruce Campbell was like gonna be in a role, whoever ends up in the role is just doing a Bruce Campbell impression. Like they always go, "Oh shit, I have to just do that."
Picture him from his like the Prince, like King of Thieves
Groovy.
thing.
You're only making more trouble for yourself.
If I didn't like trouble, I would have gone into a different line of work.
As Billy Zane's character, like twirling
Oh,
a
yeah.
little mustache.
Must be the humidity.
You okay?
I just feel a little dizzy.
Must be the humidity.
He would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Would have been great. Would have been 10 out of 10. Fuck.
But I still think this is a 10 out of 10, like, period piece. And I will say period as in the 1930s and period of my life that I watched this. It had everything that I needed. Like, I like a superhero that's based in realism. And, like,
Yeah.
while, yes, there's some goofy shit here that's not super realistic, I think by and large, this passes, like, that criteria. And the parts that don't are fun. Like, yes, he's from the jungle, so he knows how to deal with animals, and his dead father can give him advice.
Can you go any faster?
You talking to me now?
Yes, can you pick it up?
That's just things that happen if you live in the jungle.
Yeah.
Yo, when
It
I
is
was
known
on my
in the jungle. It's an old jungle saying.
There's an old jungle saying, never point a gun at someone because it just might go off.
Yes.
when I was on my George Clooney Batman shit, I was like, that's so funny. And then he has like a manservant who's helping him, and he's in his bat cave now with his. He doesn't have a bat computer. He has a giant book, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is just Batman. That's crazy. And then a wise gray-haired man shows up and gives him advice, and I'm like,
I let that skull slip right through my fingers.
Don't be too hard on yourself. We all make mistakes.
what the fuck? He has an Alfred too. This is amazing. And then that guy disappears.
Excuse me, Ghost Looks.
And I'm like, what? It's Dresden? What's happening? What's fucking going on? Yeah, it was great.
Didn't you love that though? That's some
Yeah.
shows, you know, it's like a
Yeah, it was
dragon or
fun.
gold or whatever you wanted.
No, not really, because they don't like do enough with the. Okay, can I tell you my favorite scene and my theory as
Please.
to why this bombed?
Let's go.
I love the microscope part.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
Thanks just the same, Ray, but I have another way of dealing with this.
Because that came out of left field. It was fucking crazy. Like it's like Hitchcockian with the audience knowing the tension of it. It has a great punchline with like the liar thing.
Just turn the focus knob.
Yeah.
You really get into Treat with his scenery chewing. Won't be needing these. Ha!
Well, I guess you won't be needing these anymore.
And like snaps his glasses in half. I was like, this is fucking awesome and everything. But that's it. That's the only moment that like like the rest of it is like bloodless, swashbuckling. I'm gonna kick you and 3 guys are gonna fall down. And it's like it's like G-rated compared to that. It's like schizophrenic.
It's directly for
A little
children.
bit,
The
yeah.
choreography
It's
is that
amazing.
exactly.
I did
I don't know who it's for though. That's why you go see it and like no one's gonna be like, oh yeah, it's gonna be disjointed and stuff.
It's
right?
Saturday morning cartoon, like live action. That's who it's for exactly. It's like the A-Team style where I'm firing my like Gatling gun and I just hit the
you
ground
just
and make
don't
people
hit anybody
dance.
and stuff. Yeah.
Like you see that the Phantom is
people-
a super capable,
Yeah.
fighter. He's like pop, 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 and like a million guns and swords just pop out of people's hands. Like that takes talent.
Yes, but I mean, it's like there's not enough of a, like the target audience, I think, ends up being like who is this for or something.
Yeah, it's disjointed. Like the guy getting hit with the cannon in his chest and ragdolling into the
Yeah.
water. That's a little much for a
I
child
loved
audience.
that.
I love it very much. It's genius.
But Catherine Zeta-Jones is like, we're gonna kill people. I have an old like Nazi Luger, and I'm gonna point it at people.
And we're prepared to kill. All of you. One by one. Until she steps forward.
No, please.
I'm Diana Palmer.
And I'm supposed to feel like you're gonna get shot, not like fake shot like everyone else, real shot maybe.
Well,
Right?
very
It's all-
quickly.
whatever.
I loved everything Catherine Zeta-Jones did in this movie.
She's awesome in
When
this,
she
yeah.
showed up, she has her female like fighter pilot
Yeah.
force. They're all women. I thought that
I'd
was
like
great.
a backstory movie on that.
Yeah,
I want to know how they
me
rose to
too.
power and
No,
did that,
that'd be- that'd be cool
like
as
wherever
shit.
they are.
And then she's just horny all the time.
I wrote
And her-
Catherine Zeta jump his bones.
Yes,
Oh.
exactly. And there's some good banter with her. I thought she was the best part of this movie for me.
She's acting too. There's that moment they hang on her face after she gets after Christy Swanson like bitches her out, and you can
Yep.
tell she's like processing
She
it.
is.
So
She's
her
coming to
later
the other
turn,
side,
yeah,
yeah.
it's awesome, and like not in like a cliche where I was like, good, this is good, you're doing a thing.
There's a part where Billy Zane is like acting his fucking heart out when he's like being held and he sees his father's belt around that henchman's waist.
Stop it! Don't hurt him!
Why, Diana, are you sweet on Mr. Walker? I thought your true love was swinging on a jungle vine somewhere.
He has this horrified look, like, you killed my dad. Like he knows. Oh, I love it.
I was talking before about the set pieces. Like they went on location to some of these things. They went
Yeah.
to the Playboy Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah, that's
know?
her house or the uncle's
Yeah,
house.
The uncle's house or something like that.
It works perfectly for the period. I love
Mm-hmm.
the cars. Like, speaking of the cars, I love, like, when he's jumping car to car.
Yes.
In any movie, you're like, that's fucking stupid. But in this you're like, well, the
movie,
car
it
only
works.
goes 20 miles an hour. Of course that makes sense. And then he hijacks a horse. And villains chase him on motorcycles, shooting at him for stealing a horse. And you're like, this is America.
This is America.
Yeah.
Motorcycles, the metal horse, right? It's the duality of man. He's on the horsey horse, right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And yes, the cars are like bumper cars, so you can easily just jump between them and stuff. Yes.
That Puss in Boots eyes that tiger gives as like Billy Zane's like, good boy, it's okay.
So does he have animal powers?
Yeah, he
It's
does.
it's
Sort
not
of.
super explained. He's a man of the jungle. Like, you know, he's got gems and shit. He does whatever he wants.
And
Billy
I-
Zane also might just have animal powers. That
I
just could
think
be a
he
thing.
does.
It's a real tiger.
Including Catherine Zeta-Jones, they had a lot of great secondary characters in
Oh, yeah.
this movie. They were all interesting and fleshed out. Like, I loved Al, the taxi guy.
MVP. So I like that dude in everything he's ever been in. I think he's just a fantastic, like, just character actor. But in this, you're like the chauffeur of the decade, and you're just a taxi guy. He like takes cues. He's like, oh, hang on, I gotta follow you. Oh, I know these gems is worth so much. I gotta
the newspaper like.
If someone plopped a fistful of like precious gems into my palm, like rubies and garnets and stuff, I would be going above and beyond.
Here, take all of them. Don't worry, they're real.
He's committing crimes. He's helping him. He's trespassing in the zoo.
Get in.
That dude's great. You expected him to do more. He's just like, I love New York.
I love New York.
Like, he's just this great guy.
He's no, there's a moment there too, like the best line when he's like, I had them appraised while you were in there.
Yes, sir. At your service.
Well, you're in a good mood.
You bet I am. While you're inside, I had those stones appraised.
I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
real quick.
Where? What are you talking
It's
about?
New York in the 30s. You can do that anywhere.
I just love that he even carries those. He just has a little baggie like he's fucking Robin Hood with his gems.
Yeah, he's doing the what is his name? Danny Brand, whatever the fuck. The Iron Fist, where he's like, I forget what money is. And you're like, all right.
I don't have much use for currency ordinarily, but I do like to have a little around, just in case.
Like, his first mistake is okay, where like, oh, I have the native currency of Zimbabwe or whatever.
Not so fast, buddy boy. What is this? This isn't real money.
Yeah, you're right. That's a Bengalla currency.
And I'm like, oh, okay, like, I could see you're in a rush, your dead dad sent you on a mission and stuff, like, you gotta save the woman you love. And Christy Swanson's fucking awesome in this, eating bologna sandwiches.
What's in the sandwich?
Bologna.
She was a little underwhelming for me.
Ah, you're a bitch.
What?
Underwhelming.
I will say that about it. That was like my one hit, because watching things like Indiana Jones and The Rocketeer, the performances in this weren't charismatic enough for me to like really grab me. Who is Billy Zane's character? Like, what are his qualities? I can't name
it's a
them,
little hard because most of his character evolves around being in Phantom costume and trying, I think, to be indistinct, but also it's super like who he is, and the idea that
I have never laughed so hard when the cabbie, when he's like, I'm a friend of Kit Walker's, and the cabbie's like, oh, okay.
Follow that car.
Oh, God. Take my money, but don't hurt me.
Al, take it easy. I'm a friend of Kit Walker's.
I'm like, he's talking with the exact same voice. He smells the same. You were just in the fucking, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh my God. And so like at the end, when Christy
if that
Swanson
drove you
like,
nuts, the end had to kill you.
No, well, she's like, I obviously know who you are, you dumb motherfucker. And he's like, oh, I guess
Wait, we have to step back a little further. Yeah. They just flew into the middle of the ocean in like a missile submarine, and then it cuts from there to now they are back 10,000 miles away to the Skull Cave, where he's picked up the explanation that would have had to have started in that submarine. He's like, so this, that, and the other thing, kind of explaining exactly who he is and how it happened, and then somehow is a little surprised that she knows who he is.
Well,
who
she
he
was
is.
a woman in the 30s. Those dames were a little bit,
Gosh, you're pretty in those woodsy flannels.
Your uterus blinds you to my obvious grease paint mask or something. You're like, what the fuck?
The grease paint is a bit
everyone
much.
should know. Okay, when it starts and he's like, someone needs us. I'm the Phantom.
Devil, somebody needs us.
And it's kind of like in the cave, and there's like the wolf, and I was like, okay, this might be okay. Smash cut to like broad daylight, purple suit, huge seams, greasy face, just in there on a horse. I'm like, oh no, we're in for it now. I was super like,
it's also a little funny when you see how far off the beaten path the cave really is. He has to Like,
It's
are the
through a
drums being relayed for
waterfall.
miles as he then has to, you know, like hoof it?
He's got a Blackberry. He's full of shit. He's just like, listen.
Nothing is more pick-apartable than him hanging on the pontoon for a
Yeah.
10,000 mile trip.
journey, just hanging out. You'd have to take a
No.
piss at some point.
They demonstrated the pontoon earlier. The screenplay explains you can just ride on there if you want.
We have to.
They're just extra seats.
That's
it's
true.
just cheap seats for the plane.
I
It's
don't
fine.
doubt that. And it is old enough that I think the plane might be low enough that you might not just die
Oh,
from
yeah.
being
It's
outside.
whatever, yeah.
But
That's not
certainly
enough to-
you would
yeah.
you would like,
It'd get
I don't know, not be
cold.
fresh when you
Yeah.
landed. He comes right into fighting like, you know,
May not
his
be in
arch
fighting
enemy.
shape.
Yeah, you're in the jungle in that skin-tight neoprene suit. It's gonna get real swampy.
Salami day.
You don't think it breathes? You don't think that's
I don't
part
think
of the,
so.
the
I don't
Phantom
think
tech?
so. It's
The
humid
ghost
as
who
fuck in
sweats.
the
Yeah.
jungle.
The ghost who reeks more like
I
it. Just
hope-
sweaty balls running
I hope
around
he
the jungle.
hydrates.
Right?
That's how the animals know he's coming.
They see me as one of their own.
Answer.
No, but before I forget, you're talking about like the set pieces and stuff, Lindsay. Is like
Uh-huh.
when the plane pulls into that cove.
Yeah,
with, like
it's
the crystal clear
gorgeous.
water in the overhead. I was like, oh, we're talking about something now. Yeah.
No, it's.
I
very
think that
great.
leads to the worst part of the movie, though. The
Pirate
set-
City, Pirates of
Yes,
the Caribbean.
so-
History is about to be made, and you're all a part of it.
The set
more of
of
a
the
set of
Pirates of the
guidelines?
Caribbean zone is amazing, and I love how it looks. But if you
detailed.
take 1 second to think about that, you're like, wait a minute. Okay, what? So, like, they've just been in this cave for, like, 300 years with candles burning and bullshit happening, and, like,
Yeah.
it's a mix of, like, this is
And
carved
they're
from stone, there's
procreating with
buildings, a
no-
full boat.
Where are they getting women?
They steal
Well,
their pirates.
occasionally... Cut to him saying,
Or they wash up on shore every now and
self-indulgence,
then.
something I didn't think of, or whatever.
Good. Personal pleasure. I overlooked that one. So, what do you say, Cowboy Sengh? The girl for the skull, and I'm out of your hair.
No, I think that needed to be like a thing of like, oh, when they killed my father, they stole this thing, and that grants them immortality, but it's a curse. Now they can't leave the island, and and then the moonlight makes them skeletons. Like,
You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one.
you have to do something to justify why.
You
it's
almost
it's
expect
crazy.
something like
Yeah.
that, especially when
I
they
expected
say
it.
his name, and but then you're like, oh, he is the great grandson
Yeah.
of the original.
Direct descendant of the evil Cary Sengh. First leader of the Sengh Brotherhood.
Like, you kind of want him to be the original, to like
it's crazy.
bring this full circle.
For the
like,
real revenge.
you are who brought the Phantom into existence, and now I'm gonna take you out of existence.
Exactly.
You
No,
kill
that
my
would've
father,
been cool.
prepare to die.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, but it's and his death too. He falls into an inch of water and then is eaten by sharks.
Well, shark
like,
mode,
he-
it just
he-
equals
he-
into it. Like,
he
while
ju-
I say that
he
whole
just
set piece
fucking
is bad,
dodges a
honestly, the whole
little.
last 15 minutes is pretty shitty.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, but in that scene
the
too,
explosion, the
okay.
fourth skull, and you're like, okay, if the fourth skull controls the other three, why is there even a fight for power?
The fourth skull controls the power of the other three. And without it, you've wasted your time.
And
Yeah.
if there
Listen.
is, why does it win and explode and
I-
disintegrate?
Spontaneously combusts.
I like
Treat
no-
Williams.
I like nothing more than two different colored beams going back and forth, and dudes being like trying to like
Well,
beam
especially
harder
Treat
and
is
stuff.
leaning all
I
the way
love
into it, and that's-
I love it. It's wonderful. However, yes, it sucks shit because you're like, wait, what? What the fuck is happening? Why?
You
is
don't
the
know what's
thing?
happening.
What's going on? Yes.
Because it's supposed to, you put the three skulls together and it's supposed to be like the most destructive power in the world, greater than anything man has seen, and it just makes a laser.
When placed together, the three skulls harness an energy 1,000 times greater than any force or high explosive known to man.
Well, that was written 400 years ago, Lindsay. So
That's-
I actually wanted the opposite. I wanted like, it's the most destructive power known to man. And then they do it, and he's like, what is this piece of shit? A gun is more powerful than this. Like, it's
could've done
400
it.
years old, idiot.
It would have been worth several chickens back in the day. It's
Yeah.
a very valuable.
But like, you
skull.
picture those three skulls like hovering over his shoulder like he's the fucking predator shooting
Yeah.
lasers as he aims with his fucking ring. We don't get that.
I wanted skull, like some sort of weird Mighty Morphin Beetleborg man. And then like armor goes chung 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 chung, comes on him. He's like, I'm the mega, and he has to fight him.
Joey from Lost in Space.
As far as McGuffins go, it is a good device because there's multiples. Like you put these two together, and they lead to the third one. And I liked that scene in the museum.
May take a day or two, but or we could just break the glass.
Where he goes to get it, and he just breaks the glass, and then all of a sudden Treat Williams there, and
that's cool.
That whole mechanism where it burns the spot on the map, I thought that was really interesting.
It doesn't make any sense though. It takes into account that these things are self-aware and can aim at maps and point shit out.
Indiana Jones. What if you were good? What if someone asked you to write a script and you were like, I only write Indiana Jones? You would just be like, I don't know, fuck it, it shines and then they know where to go. I don't know, fuck it, whatever.
As a child, thought it was super cool. As an adult who picks apart everything, that kind of sucks. Even what leads them to smashing that glass is like random love interest guy who's like, I've seen a skull before. It was green though. Well, where'd you see it? Hang on. Let me think. It was in a big room. It was my 12th birthday. And you're like, what the fuck?
It was my 12th birthday party. Mom and Dad had rented a big room. Now I remember. The Museum of World History.
You just remember random skulls for your 12th birthday? Outrageous.
It's also funny that he has to like go to the book, like this is just one of many things that happen, and it's like this is kind of your main thing.
This is what I'm looking for. The skulls of Taganda. One made of gold, one made of silver, one made of jade.
Like you have the fourth, like what is like why shouldn't this be like this is like chapter 1 of that book, right? It shouldn't just be like another random fucking, there's a jade skull too, what? It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, weird.
And they didn't really go into anything about, because he has like 1 or 2 rings, at least in the comics,
2
that control different things, but it's like, why does he have that? They just don't go enough into the lore of it for me. It's like, I want to know more about where these things are, because when they go to find the first one at the beginning, that one guy gets choked out by a skeleton.
Oh yeah. Why did that skeleton come to life? Why does the one paranormal thing that happens?
People?
Okay, so let's talk about that for a minute, because we're going to talk about problems, and there are a lot of problems. I'm not saying there aren't a lot of problems. The skull or whole skeleton comes to life. The skeleton chokes a man to death. A little too late, because he's already given away his prized possession.
Yeah.
And then our boy, who stabbed the previous Phantom, goes up. Oh, he's dead.
He's dead. Damn thing came alive and choked him to death.
Oh my god, it just came alive, and he just turns his back to it, like it's not a supernatural killing machine that could potentially kill all of them. There's lots of skulls in this room. Why are you acting like it's nothing? And then saying, you know what, let's loot the place and get the hell out of here.
Hey, what about all this other stuff? There's a lot of valuable junk in here.
Take it. Take it all. Nobody's gonna miss it.
Whatever's not nailed down, let's grab it.
Around
I'm
for a while.
fucking dead. Yeah, that was shocking, because like number one, I'm like, who is that guy? Is that a Sandman? Who is this? No, it's Dexter's dad. That voice, I would know.
Yeah.
He looks so young, it's crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that.
But yeah,
he's great. I love him.
Dexter's dad is just fucking like, yeah, whatever. It's and you think he has this thing where he's like, don't kill the kid, because we have to, use him to cross the bridge. That's why, right?
So shoot him.
No, we may need him to drive the truck back across the bridge.
So I was like, oh, okay, so he's gonna have like this heart of gold, like redemption. No, he gets incinerated and nothing happens. I'm like, okay,
Drax, over here!
What is it? Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. I tried.
It might be the only like death aside from that choking, like in the movie. Oh no, a guy gets speared.
That's how you feel about it.
Oh yeah,
but Treat has a great. He's like, oh my fucking wood.
Done.
We are so I've been extremely restrained, because probably my favorite thing in the entire movie is Treat Williams.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
Very good.
He's great in everything.
I feel like for me, this film would not have been watchable without his performance. I was blown away. I last saw him. I'm not a big Treat guy. I've seen him in like a few random things that you've made me watch. That thing on like the boat where he was like, "We gotta get off the boat."
Deep Rising.
And
I
but,
love Deep Rising.
but like. He didn't like knock my socks off in that one, really. He was just doing whatever because he's an actor and he can be different. He understood the assignment. To use the George Clooney Batman analogy, he's the Poison Ivy character where it's like, lean into it. I'm fucking around.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm going to the Devil's Vortex. Ha!
Have you heard the exciting news? No. We're going to the Devil's Vortex.
He's just running around. It's fucking awesome. He's like pegged to 11. He knows what he's doing. I was super impressed.
He never gets the consequences you would have wanted him to get. And yes, he does explode and die, but like being the like cutthroat business savvy guy who yes does get his hands dirty here and there, when you're fucking with old school pirates, it should have been like, oh no, you lose, because like you have no bargaining here. We don't give a shit. Like we haven't even seen a girl in 16 years. Like fuck you.
If it was rated R, he would have gotten some Game of Thrones. They would have like cut his finger off or his ear or some shit. There would have been something like, you think you're in charge? I'm in charge. But it was still, his performance was still great. Like, wait a minute, it's not working? I always just fucking talk shit and everyone does what I say. What do I do?
Silence! You have no bargaining power with me, Mr. New York City.
So he had to like give a little, like I was really into his performance is what I'm trying to say. I was impressed.
The Sengh Brotherhood on the whole is an issue. Like the whole like he has a tattoo thing. He's like, no, look, brothers, I am one of you.
We too are members of the Sengh Brotherhood.
And you're like, can you just like get a tattoo and you're in the gang? Like if you've never met any of the gang members, you don't seem to know anything about the gang. How are you in the gang? And everyone's tattoo is a stick-on.
He's in a different chapter of the Sengh Brotherhood.
Maybe it's spun off to
I'm
be
in
a
the Chicago
thing,
chapter.
Yeah. It's just very strange. Even the idea that he killed the first Phantom, you're like, these woods are very specific. He's only in this one part of the world. The odds you've ever encountered him twice, a little sus.
Who was that guy?
Somebody I already killed.
What?
You heard me. I killed him years ago.
It isn't like they established that they have no idea where the fuck they are to the point where the map is upside down and he has no business ever being in the neighborhood.
Turn the map around. You got it upside down, you big moron.
Big moron.
Did he kill him in London? Did they say something like that? No.
No, it was in. Oh, he only really patrols his woods.
Yeah, and
his island or whatever you want to call it.
And Ghost Dad's fucking story is like, I trusted him and he led me out somewhere and killed me.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, what?
He stabbed me in the back, literally. So sue me. I'm a lousy judge of character.
The map. All right, whatever.
Yeah, or maybe because through that whole exchange, he's like, there is no Phantom because he thinks he killed him.
Yeah.
Already.
Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think that's like such a cool concept that like you could definitely run with in a different way. Like in a futuristic version of this, it would be like clones or something, and it'd be like, no, he never dies. He keeps coming back. Because it's a little hard to do in this scenario. Because like that whole lineage had to have been talented, physically adapted, fighting, good in the woods, like a lot of things that you're taking on.
Willing to be the fan. Like, what if you're like, I don't want to do that.
And one day your own son will take your place.
Yes.
Even just they all had to be suave enough to find a lady, in the jungle.
At some point, you have to be.
That's white because he's white as fucking snow.
Well, listen, that's another issue with his product of his time.
Right?
Yeah.
I like her.
Thanks, Dad.
Well, get going.
No, it's that I did not expect that. That fucking threw me. But no, like you have to be insane enough to want to be Jungle Batman, and also suave enough to I was educated in the States and I learned microscopes and fucking yeah.
And they had some great stunt scenes. Like there's the truck on the bridge.
Yes.
Which was very cool because they actually did that, and then I couldn't piece together what part when they jump off the plane, they go onto the pontoon and then onto the horse. I'm like, how much of this is real and how much of this is just like rear projection, all kinds of stuff.
In that
It was
time,
hard
it's
to-
tough, right? The
Yeah.
CG looked bad, so I don't know
It
how much they
did.
were able to fake, right? So
Yeah, I
yeah.
was
So,
just
so a lot of
in
the stunts,
any event,
I'm like,
something is
that's a
happening
person.
because he's
Yeah.
wearing like a harness or something. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
at the very least, he's lowering from something that is maybe on a crane or something. But something is happening
I couldn't
there.
tell what they did because there were shots that it's like, oh, that is a person jumping from the sky onto a horse, but I couldn't find any information.
Which is
about
all
it.
insane to me.
Yeah.
The horse's name is Hero.
Hero.
FYI.
Okay.
But that whole thing is absolutely insane. Like, because the way that the plane like tracks that horse, and then somehow how they catch up with him, I'm like, he was on a fucking plane.
Yeah.
A, how'd you even find him? B, how are you that fast?
Who's flying the plane?
I jammed the stick. Now we don't have much time. This clearing's not very long. Get ready.
Get ready.
There was something very Beastmaster though about his animals being like, uh-oh, and like running.
Yes.
Where I was like, nice. They're like, wait a minute, our dude's gone. We gotta go.
Your dog's a wolf. Yes.
Your dog's a wolf.
I know.
Yeah.
It is. Yes, definitely.
When he does the slide,
thanks for noticing.
like down the cable thing, like I always thought that was really cool as a kid, but when you watch it as an adult, the way he's holding the guns is like dumb. He's like
It's
holding
like
them from the
this.
barrel when you're like, you could just use the trigger guard to slide down and hold it like a gun. I don't know.
Yeah, it
and I
was-
feel like it would
so-
get hot or something would happen.
His boots
There are
did.
sparks.
They started smoking.
Yeah, the boots did.
So
It's weird to also have the
Yes.
mantle all with the hung up like the belts, and we have like a new suit for each one. I'm like, where are they coming from?
jungle tailors. Purple's very rare in the jungle. They have to go to a certain. No, the gun thing threw me off too. Because in the beginning, I'm like, oh, he's Batman, and oh, it's for kids because they're joking like, well, I'm glad that's behind us, and then he falls in front of them, and it's like, oh, he's in front of us. Oh, it's funny, it's jokes. But
He's back. At least he's behind us.
It's fun, and then he pulls out a motherfucking Glock. He's got the kid in there dangling. And he's like, I know what to do, and I'm like, what is he gonna do with the gun? And then he just like shoots like a vine or whatever it is, like a rope,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, okay, so he has guns, but they're like a utility gun. Because at first I thought it was gonna be like, and it was gonna be like a fucking like
grappling hook?
Grappling hook. I said Gatling. Yeah, it was gonna like zzz.
Hold on.
And like I'm like, he is Batman, it's perfect or whatever. But no, they're just fucking guns. And then later he's like, I know, I'll use my guns as a fucking carabiner or something to like rappel down the elevator shaft forever. And I'm like, okay, so he has guns, I guess, because he's just supposed to in the comics, but he's not really going to use the guns. And then in the finale, he's like Equilibrium shooting fucking mad people. He's like walking down the stairs like blah 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 blah. He's just murking people again, like slightly obscured so you can't see the dome shots of the people dying or whatever.
Well, no,
He's
he
just
doesn't
murdering
kill a
pirates.
single person with the guns. It's all
It's,
shooting things out of their
shooting things.
hands and they
Yeah.
fall over and stuff. But like, if you were to do a gritty John Wick reboot of the Phantom, holy
Yeah.
shit, where he's only limited by the amount of bullets he has and then he's taking other people's guns and doing shit.
People keep asking if I'm
A ghost.
and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm
The ghost who walks.
His fucking, like devils ripping throats and shit.
Yeah.
Heroes bucking
Listen.
motherfuckers.
We don't have to get the horse a taste of
You
blood.
do.
But no, like when James Remar gets tackled by the wolf dog, I was kind of like, uh-oh, okay, now we're gonna see. And then he's like literally nothing. He doesn't even have any like he doesn't have any dirt in
No.
his face. Nothing happened at all. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Just gets knocked
There's no
down.
consequences to anything. Why do I care about these
It's-
motherfuckers?
It's what, PG?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
believe so.
PG.
You need like some like jungle dance fighting or something. Like there's
Yeah.
a lot of just generic action fight punch stuff.
Perhaps some gun kata to explain why he can't be shot somehow.
My favorite move of his was in New York when he gets caught like up in the fire door or whatever, and
Uh-huh.
there's two guys in front
Yes.
walking forward. Then all of a sudden his legs just go. Like,
Yeah, a double thigh choke out because the man is like just a fucking beast.
Yeah.
Like you physically,
out of
based on the
nowhere.
length of different parts of your legs, like couldn't do that move.
And it was just
but
the way
he's
they
the
came
Phantom.
in frame, and they just went just straight in horizontal.
That is probably his best
That's his
physical
move.
move.
Right there. Yeah.
But you could do a lot with that, where it's kind of off camera, where he starts to climb a ladder and someone looks away, and then he's like way at the top, and you're like, wait, what the fuck? What is he doing?
Yeah.
So you don't have to show things weird, goofy. You could just be like, what's going on? Or maybe he has some sort of like luck of the jungle, and they're trying to shoot him, but like they're missing, or like the guns are jamming or something. Some explanation
Well, this
for why
is a
someone
time
just fucking shoot him.
of life where honestly, if he just had a Kevlar suit, you'd be like, oh my god, what is this? Like, because it's just technology that didn't exist. And I think like that alone, like that's what I'm saying. Is this is
his
a
suit's
time
made out
where
of
you can
some
do
weird
amazing
jungle,
things.
like some sort of weird vine, in the jungle that's like
It's
only
rhino
there.
skin.
Yeah, and it's fucking like, oh, whatever. So like, and then you could show him being kind of bulletproof and being like, well, knives can pass through because they're slow, but like the kinetic thing of the thing or something, and you go like, okay, good, because the whole time they're shooting, and I'm like, what are you, Arnold Schwarzenegger? Why are you bulletproof? What's going on?
Yeah, people suck, especially these are old guns. Yeah, you gotta line it up.
It's fine. It's fine.
It goes with the sensibilities of this movie. It's just, it's very...
The action movie rules.
Yeah, it's very old-timey, down-home. You know, he's the good guy. He can't get hurt. I mean, he gets hurt once. He gets stabbed by the one guy. But evidently he has his butler has some amazing healing poultice.
Ow.
Did that sting?
Yes.
Good. That means it's working.
Thing that he puts on.
It was still a wound because later on they were concentrating on that spot.
Where was it again? Right about there.
But when they showed that cut, it kind of sucked. It wasn't great. Billy Zane, though, looking good. This is probably like peak Zane, you know, in physicality. I like that. Like this was like, you know, I always thought that Billy was wearing a wig in this, that he was already bald. But I read a thing today that said like, no, he shaved his head for the Phantom parts. So like the mask would fit down on his head perfectly. And they had to film all the scenes where he takes it off and puts it on like weeks apart because they didn't have like him with his hair.
He's got no hair anymore.
Well, that's your budget right there. Oh no, the logistical nightmare of that.
Yeah,
but that's awesome. Yeah, so that's his real hair when he has like the bob.
That's his real
with
hair.
the
Yeah,
weird part in the middle. Yeah.
Exactly.
For the ending, like when he goes and he lands on the, he climbs up on the submarine, he opens the door, and Christy Swanson and Catherine Zeta pop out. I wanted like them to go like off on this crazy lesbian adventure together instead of going back
that way,
with him. I was like,
well, they may have.
They may have. They were.
That
in
could be why there was
for-
no movie 2.
No, like she could, like Christy Swanson could have been recruited, you know, into her like a badass chick, you know, strike force, whatever.
And they just go treasure hunting around the world.
She would have definitely been in the rest of the franchise had there been more. Like, I see no reason why she wouldn't. She wasn't this huge name at the time. I think that this would have been a thing for her.
Oh yeah.
I love our Dexter's dad. There's a part where like it's not like focused on, but if you're looking at him, it's when they're like, "There's 4 skulls," and he's in the background like,
Fourth skull? What fourth skull? What are you talking about? There is no fourth skull.
It's like the numbers are flying up.
Yeah, like, but he's using his fingers to count to 4, and just to realize they don't have 4.
You got the jade one. Then I had the one I had before, and then the one in the museum. Wait a minute. Yeah, no, that's gold. I bet it is. It. I was gonna say, is it clean? Can we make a meme out of it? Never mind.
Probably.
Never mind. It's probably 2 in the back and whatever. But yes.
Yeah,
awesome.
Blu-ray.
Has this been remastered? Is this a cult classic now? Where does this?
I think this sits with people pretty good now, but it didn't hit its audience then. Like
No,
this was fun. The toys were not really good, which also was something that used to drive a franchise, like having good toy sales.
Well, that about wraps it up for me. Thanks for watching Nick's Superhero Sunday. Be sure to catch me this Friday in The Phantom, opening at a theater near you. Not the third skull!
And being that the toys did not look like Billy Zane, were kind of childish looking, I don't think it had that.
I honestly think
Sounding really
people
hard here.
saw that purple suit and thought it was silly.
It is definitely
silly.
But like, I mean, it never struck me as weird. Like, especially in the time period, like weird colored suits were normal, and like the comics looked amazing, and like those led into this. So like there was already an audience waiting for it, just not big enough.
No, and I just think the marketing that was put out, people saw a purple suit in the jungle. What the fuck?
With the Phantom in this week's Sunday Telegraph.
Did you ever see the Got Milk ad?
No.
Oh, I'll post it. I bought a book once upon a time of Got Milk ads just because
you
it
got the
had
milk
the Billy
book?
Zane Phantom milk mustache.
Oh my god.
That was on your wall next to the Pamela Anderson photo.
I
Billy
found
Zane's
it in a Goodwill at
milk
one
stash.
point. There might be a video online of me finding it. I will drop what I have right here.
That's awesome.
So this here is the dumbest thing I ever got at a thrift shop. It's just pictures of people's ads for the Got Milk. So I got it because I wanted this picture, and there's one of Billy Zane as the Phantom somewhere. There it is. And I wanted this one. I think these will be funny to frame and put on the wall. Everyone who knows me knows I'm a big fan of the Phantom and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, one of the best shows that was ever on TV. And that's how I ended up with the Milk Mustache book, the dumbest thing I ever bought at a thrift shop.
Okay. Wonderful.
So, like, really, let's just touch base real quick, again, on the evil pirate base. Just the levels and years of stuff there, and why they're even there, is just such a mystery to me.
Well,
there's, like, a missile launcher. There's a pirate ship.
Phantom!
There's like buildings inside the thing where you're like, where'd the materials come from? Is the boat built inside? Like
there's
it's a ship in a
animatronics.
bottle?
They're trying to get the keys from the dog. It's crazy in there, man.
It doesn't make any sense because you're like, they're not protecting and defending. They say, when's the last time we saw someone else like forever ago? And you're like,
yeah, well,
who would you see and why?
They call it the Devil's Vortex, and when they first bring it up, they're like, that's where all these ships go.
Yeah, because they're shooting them down with their little missile launcher thing.
Yeah, well, not just planes, but like ships and
submarines. I think mostly ships. I doubt they're hitting planes. You think?
No,
Did they say planes?
But that directly contradicts the line you just pointed out, where they say it's been so long since we've seen someone. Don't you?
No, meaning that people of their thing have like I doubt they're seeing any of the people that are blowing up. That's what I mean. Like there has to be outsiders somewhere. How did the gang persist? The gang seems to be like the Lost Boys. There's 7 of them.
Who are these people?
Like,
I think
what gang is this?
They live off what comes to the island, I think. Just
but
wrecks
that's such a bizarre existence that isn't needed.
Or they're pirating around the island or something. I don't know.
It's just so bizarre to still be living off of candles. Like,
why are you so upset with the candles? They set a nice ambiance.
Because unless you're finding ships that are trucking candles, it means you're there making like these. I'm a stone cold pirate with my face tattoo of a cobweb, and here I am making candles.
Good morning, shipmate. What's good about it?
Hey man, you got to see stuff, and also that was a time period when there'd probably be a lot of candles in cargo holds because that was so long ago that we were all about candles back then.
But we weren't like still using cannons. And where did they get this missile launcher? Like what are they? Not missile launcher. What do they call it?
Yeah, what are you?
A torpedo launcher.
Yeah.
But the torpedo that it launched was a submarine? Like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, it did not make sense.
Well, they said it was live and we can't hit something. I don't know why it had a chain attached to it. I don't know what any of that was.
So Billy could grab it
there.
at the last minute.
Exactly.
No shit.
Just look around at anything there and you're going to question, like, what am I seeing?
Sense.
Why do sharks just swim in circles here? Are they throwing meat in there? Where are they getting meat?
The sharks eat candles, Stefan. Don't be ridiculous.
But they're running
What's wrong
dangerously
with
low
you?
on candles.
No, it had to be like, okay, it is it is the Devil's Vortex. Ships do get lost there because there's a sea monster, and now it's like Treat Williams point the skulls at the sea monster. And he's like, no, and it's the fucking thing, and he's like, my ring can fix the problem, and it's a fucking thing, and they kill the sea monster, and Treat gets eaten by at the last minute, and it's a fucking okay, and now the pirates are free and dead, and now Billy Zane gets to go marry Christy Swanson.
A sea monster would make sense in terms of like we're trapped on this island and we can't get off and blah blah blah, like something
Explain
like that.
The fucking vortex or whatever.
There's free cake and sandwiches in the other room. Where are the security?
Listen, folks, free cake and sandwiches are being served in the Hall of Nature. Bring the little ones, don't miss out. Thank you. Bye-bye.
He's a treasure, all right?
He's a treat.
I intentionally didn't do that with him, but no, that's perfect. That like reminds me. I don't want to do hot takes all night, but my favorite part about the Nolan Batmans was the like Bruce Wayne division. How you have this like shitty guy who's like playing the whatevers, and this movie is full of that. Not with Billy Zane's duality, because he doesn't have an alternate identity. He's just the same motherfucker. But there's characters in it who are playing all those awesome smarmy. It's a series of corporations. Like they're doing all that intrigue, businessy stuff with their fucking like, oh, now you're in charge. I speared him and all that weird. Anyone else have any questions? Dr. Evil, fucking see. I'm like, okay.
Charlie, you're the new boss of bosses. Think you can handle it?
I've been waiting all my life.
Good man.
Cool, and like the mayor's in that fucking little like room with them.
You were right,
like,
Mr. Drax. They're on to you.
Whatever.
And he's doing the fucking thing. Yeah, it's awesome. I liked the double cross, like he owns this town, Mr. Drax, and it's like, oh shit, what the fuck? Like,
Xander Drax is a good name.
I'm sure you've heard of it.
That's up there with Xanatos.
When he spells
it out.
It begins with an X and ends with an X, and like Shang Tsung's like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is this guy? What are you talking about?
Xanderdrax. Xander Drax. Begins and ends with the letter X. From New York City.
I can't spell.
I don't care how you're like. I can't read. No, he's like, I don't care how your name is spelled. What are you talking about? Oh,
so it's like the best movie.
It's great. 10 out of 10.
I'm glad I can finally check that box if having watched it.
I was never gonna watch it on my own, so this is fine.
Wait, you hadn't seen it either?
I saw it when I was a kid, but I was not into it. So
that's fine.
I was never gonna double check on my own. I was never. I didn't hate it as much as I hate it now because I forgot it. So now I'm like, it's like renewed. Where I'm like,
again, it's full of problems, and I'm not too big to admit that nostalgia might carry it a good ways, but Billy Zane carries it the rest.
It's okay to like a movie.
It's just in a weird pocket of time, because another thing that it seems a little similar to.
Do you mean 1996 or 1932?
1996.
Okay.
Is like it has Dick Tracy type vibes.
Yes.
It's the same kind of era when those comic books came out. But when did Dick Tracy come out? Early 90s, like 91, 92?
Yeah, 91 or 2.
And then Blade came out 2 years after this. So, I mean, I just think
that's crazy.
The sensibilities of it were just a little behind the times.
Yeah.
I don't think the CG is as bad as this as in Blade.
Oh, yeah, that blood tornado
the
is
CG
pretty
at the
bad.
end of Blade is like unwatchable. This is like just like, oh, that's not great.
No, the CG at the end of Blade is a famous like they ran out of money or some shit.
It fits with the cheesiness of the movie, I think.
They didn't use CG in this that much, though, right? I remember one scene, like the floating skulls were gross, but that's all that I remember CG wise.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a lot
Dick
of different...
Tracy also 1990. I had a Dick Tracy toy that I just dropped. I looked at the back. But yes. So I think we all 2 thumbs up across the board. That's 6 thumbs up. Everyone loved this movie. There was no dissenting opinions.
We watched a movie. We did.
Lindsay,
we did.
Tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Instagram, and you can find me on YouTube on my YouTube channel, which is just my name, Lindsay Washburn.
And they can find Lee at onlyfans.com, and you can find me right here.
I haven't told you about the OnlyFans yet. How do you know about the OnlyFans? Did you find it? That's crazy. That's so creepy. Oh, God.
All right, everybody, fuck off. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever. Fuck these motherfuckers.
Wow. You look like an important fella.
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff opinions.